Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special Mystery School Hangout with Dr. Pillai. Today, Dr. Pillai has joined us to share a message about why he's been inspired to continue the Mystery School program. And we also have several guests that will be sharing their miracle stories of real-life change that they've experienced with Dr. Pillai's teachings. Dr. Pillai, thank you so much for joining us today. So a few months ago, you were saying that you had lost interest in teaching, but then suddenly you decided to continue with the Mystery School program. Why is that?
It is not just a few months ago. I lost interest in teaching a long time ago. There was a reason why. Because whatever you can express or speak about is limited. The moment you begin to think, then you get into a domain of ignorance. In that sense, science is an ignorance, philosophy ignorance. Everything that can be known is ignorance, which is beautifully described in Zen Buddhism. When you know, you don't know. When you don't know, you know. That was the premise from which I was operating at the time. And there is an understanding that is beyond reasoning, beyond expression, beyond language. And living from that domain, you can achieve anything you want to achieve. And time will come to an end. So it was a great place to be in. And then all my creations started from that realm, both material as well as spiritual. So from that standpoint, it is useless and phony for me to get involved in teaching. So I stopped. I wanted to stop teaching. And I have been frequently talking about it. But then now I have a different understanding, because I decided that if I have to help humanity, at least take them not to the very peak, but even to a little bit of progress in their life in whatever area they are in, or to be very to put it simplest in simple terms, I am now very much interested in improving people's lives, whether spiritual or material, in installments. So if you are making money like $20,000, I just want to make sure they are able to make $25,000 the next year, or $30,000. The same thing in the evolution of spirituality also. If you can improve from not blah-blahing all the time, not being ignorant, but pick up some intelligence, and that's good enough. So I just compromised. So I decided to teach. And the most compelling reason, however, is that there is extraterrestrial intelligence, which is the intelligence that is coming from other galaxies, from divine beings and also who can create through sound waves. Okay. And Sri Briji is the reason why I put a lot of attention to it. So what I'm going to do in this program, very different from every other program I've done. It's all going to be 100% new teachings, at least from my definition of what is new, which is a relative definition of what is new, because there is nothing new, to be honest with you. And that is, just to give you an example, if you meditate only at a certain period of time, you will get results. It doesn't matter however long you meditate other times, you won't get the results. So the impact of time on the brain and on your DNA and on the environment is very key. So you are going to understand time. And I think I mentioned that in my earlier presentation, that you have to get up at 4:30. At the 4:30 to 5 o'clock, you can accomplish a lot, because you begin to breathe just an air that is full of intelligence. This is called Brahma's time. Brahma is the creator God. So I'm going to make it mandatory for people to meditate at this time. That is the general outline of this program. And then the secondarily, and there is individual differences, which also will be paid. I'm going to pay attention to that, so that it will be more customized. So that I'm going to do, and then that needs a lot of learning. So there will be a lot of learning, and then another interesting thing is I have discovered the apps now. The apps are great ways for you to remind. So there was a gentleman who came to see me. He's the chairman of the Department of Psychology. He's a very fine gentleman. And I wanted to know, as he just walked into my room, the time changed. And the time was the most intelligent time, the time of Jupiter. So my app said, this is the start of Guru's time. So the whole time is the 1 hour was going to be characterized by intelligent, talking about intelligence. And if it were, instead of Jupiter horror, it is going to be like a Saturn horror, it will be a disaster. So there is information, there is aids coming from the apps. So I'm going to back up every teaching that I do with apps, and then self-monitoring of all that we are going to do. And how to change your consciousness, and how, by the time I think, it's a 1-year program, I'll be able to quantify what kind of neurotransmitters you want to create in the brain, and what kind of brain waves you want, and what kind of brain waves you do not want. All this you'll be able to see on self-monitor with a wearable device. I'm pretty sure that I'll have the wearable device by that time. I'm working hard on that. Not only that, the other thing is, I have been for the past few years into science a lot, but it is going to be downplayed, or maybe equal. I'm going to bring the mysticism. The mysticism is interacting with the divine, getting your information not from other people, but other human beings, but from the divine beings, and how you can be in touch with that. What are the modalities for that? So these are some of the key elements that I'm going to teach. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited to teach how to talk to people, how to talk to beings, and how many beings are there, and who are there, and what time they can be approached, and what kind of preparation I have to do in order to facilitate this process. All this will be just exciting.
So if people are new to your teachings, or if they're new to meditation, will they be able to really jump into the program and have benefit?
They don't need any background at all. because even if you have background of what I'm going to teach, or anyway going to be new, but it is going to be modernized, it's going to be simple. So there is no, absolutely no, there is no prerequisites. No prerequisites at all. Just come here, and then there is a saying in Zen again, Zen mind, the beginner's mind. If you have a mind which is unprejudiced, without any preconceived notions, that's the best. That's the best.
So, Dr. Pillai, your teachings are about having a 200% life, and with this program, you've decided to give people the Srimberzi Wealth Rising program for free. Can you talk about why it's important to balance materiality with spirituality?
Yeah, see, money gives you freedom. You know, freedom from what? Freedom from things that you don't want to do. You are not simply going to do anything just for the sake of making money. So Srimberzi will give you the financial freedom in a mystical way. And how it works, I'm not going to go into that. That's you are going to learn all that, because the 6 months program is going to be available for you as a bonus. How Srimberzi is going to create. But although I want to just say one thing, that you create, constantly you are creating. You are creating even by speaking about something. That's unidimensional. If you think about a banana, you have already created a banana in your brain or in your mind. But then to see the banana in the three-dimensional space is another phenomenon. So all this will be explained in that, and how Srimberzi facilitates it through a mystical process, through the goddess. And I remember one thing at this point. There was a great scientist in India, Ramanujan. Ramanujan went to London. He was a clerk, but then he had this wisdom from the goddess. He was able to come up with equations that no physicists, no mathematicians could do that. Professor Hardy asked him, "Hey Ramanujan, how is it that you are able to come up with all these equations? Who gives it to you?" He said, "The goddess." And then he went nuts. How can I say, go and tell people the goddess is giving all these equations? You have to give me the steps. Steps are unnecessary. You can go to the solution right away. That is the divine intelligence. So you'll bypass time, you will bypass steps, and then you can get there wherever you want to. And that's the civilization I want to create. I want to create a civilization in which steps are not needed. There was a light that came in. This is Swami Ramalingam. And I didn't have any knowledge. But this light gave me everything. But not through intellection. I felt it. So the same thing with Ramanujan. Ramanujan got everything from the goddess right away. It was more an emotional response, and which gave the answers. So these are some of the things that are very not only interesting, but very, very practical and fruitful. So that's the reason why I'm interested. And then as I go along, I'm at a point in my life. Every moment is literally new to me. And I just don't want time. I don't want to create time in my life or in your life. Why should any person should wait 1 month to get paid at the end of the month or the beginning of the day? There is no need. It's all because collectively we have committed a suicide. The educational system. There is a system that follows. asking I want money but want to teaching the core module.
May have dropped. There you are, Inez. Thanks so much for joining us. Can you unmute yourself, please? Yes. There you are. Maybe try one more time, unmuting yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good, good. Can you speak again one more time?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, good, wonderful. Okay, there we are. So Inez, I know that you have used some of Dr. Pillai's techniques to create dramatic change in your business life. Can you first share about that?
Of course. Thank you, Mohini. So I have been following Dr. Pillai for 4.5 years. And this past 4.5 years has been truly a transformational journey. My life and consciousness have really changed a lot. And still every day, I humbly recognize that there's so much more curtains to be removed to fully live a divinely inspired life. I've been practicing Dr. Pillai's teaching with an open heart and an open mind, a really good level of commitment. And the biggest spiritual present I have received through the blessings of Dr. Pillai is that my level of faith has increased so much, even to the extent that only about a year ago, I realized that I was living quite a deluded life. So I used to be a stressed out corporate executive, focused very much on ego-driven success. And thanks to the guidance of Dr. Pillai, I quickly evolved into an entrepreneur, running my own international HR consultancy firm, serving clients from all over the world. And Shrim Brazil is a sound I used initially to attract new consultancy projects. And the first time I basically decided to sound verbally and then mentally during the evening for about half an hour. And the result was really miraculous because the next morning, out of the blue, I was contacted by a foreign company who was looking for legal and HR with setting up their businesses in many different countries in Europe. And in 1 week time, I signed up for a long-term project contract with this company. So after that first miraculous event, I continued to practice Stream Brazil on a regular basis, and my practice became more subtle, And my new consultancy projects manifested really in no time. Every time I would focus with a specific intent to attract my desired customers. So I built a six-figure business, which doubled in revenue after 2 years, really spending a minimum on marketing budgets. And today I continue to attract my new clients only through the practice of Shreen Busy. And my business is still growing, very healthy, and honestly offering me the freedom that I've always dreamed of.
Um,
Yes, I'm very sorry, Mohini, but I could not hear. It's a very, very bad connection.
Okay, our next guest is Sunny Dasgupta. He's the Chief Knowledge Officer for Dr. Pillai's group of companies here in India. Sunny, welcome to our show today.
Thank you, Mohini. I trust you can hear me.
Yeah, you sound good. So, Sunny, you've been so fortunate to have found Dr. Pillai's teachings at a very young age, and it's really shaped a truly extraordinary life path for you. Can you share your story with us?
Yes. So I consider myself really fortunate because I started at the age of 13, following Dr. Pillai's teachings. And I journaled a lot of my experiences in those days. In those times, Dr. Pillai's teachings helped me really with, I was not, I had traveled overseas to a new country and I was facing challenges with, making friends, for example, during that time. And his teachings really helped me. Even in my academics, I excelled. A lot of because of the teachings I had from Dr. Pillai at that time. And later, I was fortunate at the age of maybe 18, I met Dr. Pillai in India. And that was a life-changing time. And also, a few years later, I was part of his one-year programs for about 4 or 5 years now. And what I want to share is it has changed my life both spiritually and materially. Spiritually, for example, we all talk about and want to experience miracles in our life. I have experienced miracles. I was working as an engineer in a company in Mumbai at that time, but it was an IT job, but I was, mostly into software engineering as well as working with hardware manufacturers and developing solutions for them. But my life did not seem very fulfilled because, I always wanted to make a difference in the lives of people. And that type of job did not give me opportunities for that. And I remember I was in the Light Body Enhanced program, and there was a module on timeline jumping, and I said, I have to change my timeline. This is not the timeline that I want. And so I started increasing my daily practices, and I set a goal for myself that within a month, and I wrote down my goal. I still have it. I wrote down saying my goal was that I want to, without any effort, attract the best possible job for myself. Because at that time, I did not even know what to do next, what kind of career path to choose. I was really, I just wanted to get out of my present job because it was not helping me out, or I could not see myself 5 years, 10 years in the same kind of work. And I had no idea what kind of a new challenging job I should seek or work I should seek. And I did it for 1 month. And I remember on my 20th day, I was thinking, I have been doing this for 20 days. 3 times a day, but I don't know job opportunities come. And at that time, I started thinking, well, I haven't applied for any job opportunities as well. But then I just continued on, and then on the 30th day, I had given up all hope. And then in the evening, I got an email from Dr. Pillai's organization inviting me to a meeting in Chennai. So I was curious, and I went down there, and that was when I was, offered a job to work for Dr. Pillai, and basically to work on the phonemic intelligence program, which is for changing the brain, the intelligence, and the lives of children. So what I do now is mostly my work is to spread phonemic intelligence in schools in India, and that's what I've been doing for the past few years. Now, in terms of spiritual miracles, I just shared with you that I found work which really challenges me, which really excites me every day, which really gives me a sense of meaning and purpose. At the same time, my financial life and my material comforts, because of this transition and a lot of other blessings that have come in my way, has significantly, I would say, improved 3-4 times. So I'm living a much more comfortable life. I don't have a financial struggle or that I used to have. So I'm blessed in a lot of material and financial ways as well. So my life has not only become more meaningful, but more materially comfortable as well. And in terms of spirituality, these Dr. Pillai's teachings in general, and then this 4 years of being in this 1-year program has really widened my mind. And for example, I'll give you an example. I have Dr. Pillai has been teaching about different archetypes, and I have had encounters with some of these archetypes. And if you had told me 10 years ago I was following Dr. Pillai, but that I would be able to directly encounter them, and not only encounter them, but to have a kind of conversation with them, and to be able to understand what they're saying to me, and to be able to talk with gods and goddesses or angels, it would have been, I would have wanted that, but I would not know if that was actually possible for me. But that has, thanks to Dr. Pillai, really in my life, I think the greatest achievement or the greatest miracle in my life is to have one-on-one interaction with angels or archetypes of divine beings. And that has totally changed my life, because totally changed my belief system about life. And I have seen healing miracles happen to me and through me to other people. Financial miracles in the lives of people whom I, because I started coaching a lot of people, including, top corporate executives, including people who are in politics, who are in business, all kind of people. And that was also a blessing from Dr. Pillai to be able to do that kind of, spiritual coaching. But that has a direct impact on the material, emotional, physical life of the person. So I have seen healings happen with my own hands, which my own hand has been able to help people. That to me is something that expanded my mind, that such a miracle is possible. And not financial. So for example, omniscience, at least in the context of I have done work where because of the help of a particular archetype like Karupasamy, I was able to know the problem of a person, or the a list of problems that they have, without them even mentioning anything to me. So without me asking a person, with the help of this archetype, I'm able to know what their problems are. And with such precision, with such accuracy, which is, I don't know how it's possible, but this is really the divine mind. That's why I'm very excited about the new program where Dr. Pillai is going to give an exclusive focus on these archetypes, and help us to connect more with them. So in my experience, these archetypes can do financial miracles, not only in your life or in my life, but in the lives of people whom we interact with, whom we care about. And they will be able to give a better intelligence. Like, for example, you're dealing with, there has been times when I've dealt with financial problems, when I had to deal with a complex situation in my work, and they will be able to give you, inspire you uh, with extraordinary ideas, and they will be able to provide you knowledge which is so uncommon, which is so life-changing. So these archetypes, and through Dr. Pillai's teachings, and the techniques and the meditations, you can get knowledge, you can get a wisdom which is uncommon, and which can help you. For example, um, they can help you change the outcomes of certain situations in your life. Let's say you're going to a meeting, and you need the meeting to be successful, and these archetypes can help you to and you're going for a job interview, or you're going you're going to raise money, or you're going to buy a house, or whatever it is. In all those critical moments, these archetypes can provide divine help and miracles. So the greatest gift in my life is miracles, both for myself, for others through me, which gives me great satisfaction, because you feel you become a vessel for the divine, and that's a greatest joy. And one of the biggest breakthroughs in my life is the experience of bliss, and that happened to me about a year back, through an interaction with the Mother Goddess, in during Navratri time, in a power spot in India that was recommended by Dr. Pillai. And I had experienced bliss before, psychologically, but blissed in every cell of the body, where the body was vibrating with bliss. Oh, that was a life changing, that, because now I know I can go back to that. And I was practicing what I learned in Dr. Pillai's mystery school program. I was practicing what he had taught, the mantras which he had taught, and that's why he talks about time. Time is very important. So these things work in my life. They have financially enriched me. Spiritually, they totally, expanded my view of life and what is possible. So that this has become now something that I want to explore further. And thanks to Dr. Pillai that he's teaching again, and I can spend one more year learning about it, and expanding my consciousness. And I know and by the way, in last couple of months, I've seen my material life exploding, financial miracles, work miracles like I've never seen before. So yeah, Mohini, I owe a lot to Dr. Pillai's teachings, and I've always felt this 1-year programs help me to stay focused uh, uh, on changing my life, on changing my karma for the whole year. Because without the help of a 1-year program, or a 6-month program, it's very difficult to, although I've been meditating for several years now, very difficult to maintain a daily practice.